This case concerned a shipment of chickpeas and dun peas grown in Australia and exported to Kolkata. They were loaded on board the ship Nelson, bound for India. When goods are sent by sea, the carrier gives the sender a bill of lading. This is a receipt. The seller then gives the bill of lading to the buyer. When the ship reaches its destination, the buyer provides the bill of lading to the carrier to prove their title to receive the goods. Sometimes, however, the goods arrive before the bill of lading does. When that happens, if delivery can't wait, the parties agree to release the goods without the bill of lading, but this requires an indemnity by a bank. The bank agrees that if the carrier suffers a loss by handing the goods over without a bill of lading, the bank will cover that loss. In this case, the carrier, Pacific Carriers, asked for a banker's indemnity in order to unload the peas in Kolkata. BNP Paribas was the seller's bank, and the seller sent Pacific Carriers an indemnity document with the bank's stamp on it. On that basis, Pacific Carriers unloaded the peas. They suffered a loss and sought to enforce the indemnity. The bank, however, refused. They said they'd never signed an indemnity. They said that they only ever intended to witness the signature of their client, the seller. So how do we interpret the indemnity document? It's unfair to hold the bank to something they never intended to agree with, but it's also unfair for Pacific Carriers to suffer a loss if they reasonably relied on the document. The High Court found that when interpreting contracts, you start with an objective reading of the document, but you can also consider the surrounding matrix of facts which provide the context. The majority judges said the construction of the letters of indemnity is to be determined by what a reasonable person in the position of Pacific would have understood them to mean. That requires consideration not only of the text of the documents, but also the surrounding circumstances known to Pacific and BNP and the purpose and object of the transaction. From this case, we learn that words in contracts are given their objective meaning, but in determining those objective meanings, it is proper for the court to consider the circumstances in which the document was created.